Alright, so how many of you know someone between the age of 18 and 20 that drank alcohol, whether it being you or someone you know? Yeah. See? A lot of you here. Alright? Well, though these people are considered adults, they're actually drinking illegally. And actually it's considered underage drinking. This is a major controversy in America, though not thought of as a major controversy since it happens so frequently. With extremely high number of underage drinking, we assume the current drinking age is ineffective. And that's why I'm here today to tell you guys why I believe the drinking age should be lowered. My main points I'm going to focus on today are my personal experience of underage drinking, why the current drinking age is ineffective, and why I believe the drinking age should be lowered. Now that I've told you my side of the story, I would like to tell you about my personal experience of underage drinking. So I'm currently 18, and I know my parents are probably going to see this and be pissed off at me a lot, but I feel it's important that I were to tell you guys about my personal experience of underage drinking. I personally know a lot of people that drink alcohol and are my age, and no law has stopped them from doing so. Though done illegally, they've all done it responsibly, with actions such as having someone sober, or a designated driver to take someone home if they're not feeling good, putting a cap on those who've had too much to drink that night, or to an extent of forcing someone to sleep over to ensure their safety. And that's a personal experience for me, because there was one time where I had a little too much to drink and I was totally not feeling good. So my friend told me to just spend the night at her house, and she took care of me, and I went home later that morning. Through my personal experience, I have showed you guys how the current drinking age has not been effective, and now I would like to give you reasons why. Many underage drinking is done in secluded areas to avoid law enforcement. Let's face the facts. Teens and young adults drink in private areas to not get caught by the cops. And what if that drinking gets out of hand? If you think about it, what does anybody do? The thing is, they don't do anything because they don't want to get caught by the cops, right? But let's think of what can come out of that. Let's see, there could be possible drunk driving, there could be alcohol poisoning, and there can also be inappropriate behavior such as baby making. Alright? Well, I want to focus on the point of alcohol poisoning. And there's a really important story here that was reported at the CBS News by Daniel Scorn, and it's about a boy by the name of Gordy Bailey. Gordy Bailey was an 18-year-old pledge at the University of Colorado, which is one of the top states partying states in the nation. Sorry. For the fraternity, they were asked with 26 other pledges as an initiation. They were taken to the mountains where they were asked by the actual fraternity to drink 10 gallons of hard alcohol and wine, not beer, I mean the good stuff, in 30 minutes. Alright? 30 minutes. Gordy's mother, who was being interviewed, says that you were certainly viewed as a better man if you could handle more. Gordy's stepfather was also being interviewed, and he states that Gordy drank approximately 15 to 20 shots that day. He says approximately because they weren't poured shots, they were actually shots guzzled down from the bottle. When the frat returned to the house, Gordy was completely gone. He was out of it. His eyes were rolling in the back of his head, and his body was completely immobile. The frat didn't know what to do, so they threw Gordy on the couch in the frat's library. This was where the fraternity president would create intervals for people to check on Gordy, whether to see if he was dead or not. After 9 hours of laying there, someone finally called 911. And in the call, the person from the frat stated that we got a guy who's passed out. He drank way too much, and we found him this morning, and he's not waking up. Gordy was found dead that day, and he died of alcohol poisoning, and he was alone in the library all by himself. The parents believed that if the drinking age had been 18 rather than 21, that the frat would have smartly called 911 earlier, and their son probably would still be alive. But since the drinking age was not 18 and it was 21, the frat did not call in time because they were scared of getting caught for underage drinking at what fraternities call hazing. Another problem with the law is that teens lack the education of alcohol and its consequences. Dr. Joel Grube of U.S. Department of Justice states that it is often asserted that alcohol is more integrated into European culture and that young people there learn to drink at younger ages within the extent of the family. This shows that if kids learn how to drink at a younger age, they will learn how to drink more responsibly when they grow up and become adults in the future. After showing you why the drinking age has not been effective, I would like to elaborate on why the drinking age should be lowered. Procon.org states that lowering the drinking age will make alcohol less of a taboo, take away the thrill that many young people get from breaking the law, and make alcohol consumption a more normalized activity done in moderation. I personally have a friend who at the age of 18, they drank a lot, like crazy, right? As soon as they hit 21, they felt on top of the world. They had one big party where they drank like crazy, and after that, it was no longer a craze for them. They just found it, they drank still, but they drank in moderation because they lost the feel for breaking the law. Another reason why I believe the drinking age should be lowered is because at 18, you're considered an adult, right? John McCardle, the former president of Middlebury College in Vermont, states that why don't we trust these young adults to make the same kind of responsible decisions about alcohol that we believe them capable of making in the voting booths, in the jury box, and on the battlefield. This has to be one of the main points why I believe that drinking age should be lowered to 18. Because I find it pretty harsh that I cannot drink alcohol, and yet I can be shipped out to war whenever the time comes. I can vote for propositions such as Prop 8 or Prop 19, and I can also get married if I chose to. I believe that life and death situations should be put into my own hands, and that the actions I choose should be based on my own responsibilities. So today, I've talked to you about my personal experience of underage drinking, why the current drinking age is not effective, and why the drinking age should be lowered. Though some of you may be older and may already be 21, I just feel like, even though it may not be important to you, I feel that it is an important factor and an important issue in today's culture. And I would like to leave you all with a memorable statement that I live by, and you all should also. Don't drink and drive. You'll spill your drink. Thank you.
So, Carissa, what did you think?
It was good. His opening question was very effective. He laid the groundwork of having something, all of us having something in common. His preview was laid out very well. He was specific. He was referring to adults, that technically underage drinkers, but that they were adults. His examples, personal examples, were good. He also cited expert testimony, which led credence to his viewpoint. His recap was good, and his point, I think his strongest point was someone who's old enough to vote or serve on a jury or be a soldier should be old enough also to drink.
All right, well, the